Hey guys, it's March 29th, 2020, so we're still in the midst of this COVID-19 pandemic. Life has changed for a lot of people, which means they're probably working from home. And I had a concerned friend reach out to me the other day asking, are you guys going to put out some type of stretching / work from home ergonomic type setup video? So here's that video. And I think my thoughts are a little bit different than most people would expect from a physical therapist. And I wanted to take a different example from biology to help illustrate where my thoughts are coming from. So if we take plant life and kind of apply the same reasoning, same questioning, and ask ourselves, what is it that makes plants thrive? Because I think that's what my friend was really getting at, is in her question, what is it that we can be doing right now during this pandemic when we're working from home, doing so many things from home to keep ourselves healthy? So taking that to plant life, we have to realize that there are, let's say, pine trees, succulents, bamboo plants, grass and flowers and all these other things. They're all plants, right? But they all thrive in different types of environments. They need different dosages of sunlight, of water. So from a posture type perspective, using the same logic, I think we need to take a reframing of the question, and instead of thinking about what is it specifically that I need to achieve in terms of a position, rather let's set up an environment and some principles to follow that will allow our body to thrive and feel good. So here are some simple rules of thumb that I use with my patients in terms of adjusting their environments and hopefully making them feel better. So first rule of thumb is find stuff that feels good. And that's not always as easy as it sounds. It might sound pretty trivial, but a lot of the time people are taught or told that certain things should feel good, and that's not necessarily true. So a big starting off point is a neutral posture. And that's always kind of thought of as the best place to be, which never really made a lot of sense to me, because even in the definition of the word neutral, that means neither good nor bad. It's just a starting point. So if you've been told that something like neutral posture or something along those lines feels good and it doesn't, I think you should reflect on that and see if you can make any adjustments to your situation to make your sitting posture, your workstation, feel any better. Second rule of thumb, our bodies crave variety, and working in front of computers, kind of sitting all day watching TV, we're not getting too much movement. So give yourself permission to add some variety and even be a little bit silly. I know when I read a book, for example, or work on a computer, that constantly changing my posture, because that's just something that my body responds to. Is I don't like being in the same position for too long, and it's nothing good or bad about that necessarily. It's just when my body tells me to move, I move, and I switch it up. So when I'm reading a book, I could be laying on my side, on my stomach, on my back, all kinds of different positions. And the same thing goes for when I do a lot of work on the laptop, documenting and billing and all kinds of stuff for the business. So I'm always changing my position up for that as well. So just like with the plants, where you can overwater or not get enough sunlight, maybe the position that your occupation requires you to be in, or being at home right now, being kind of limited in the activities that you're in, maybe being in the same posture is the equivalent of underwatering or overwatering, or too much sunlight or not enough sunlight. So add some variety and find the dosage that works for you. Also kind of related to dosage, number 3 here, I'd say would be to mix up the intensity, turning the volume up or down on the intensity. And this doesn't necessarily have to be with like weights or cardio, although that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. could all benefit from that. But since most kind of desk occupations and things from home are done in a very narrow range of movement, maybe what your body needs and is craving is an increase in intensity, because I think historically, ergonomically, things are, especially for desk jobs, the goal has always been to reduce intensity, but that's a bit of a double-edged sword. So just like we can overwater a plant, which would be overdoing it, right? We can also underwater it. So we can't also suck out so much intensity that our body starts becoming potentially deconditioned and unable to handle all of these kinds of various forces, because adaptation is a two-way street. You can adapt positively to something, but you can also regress and decondition. So find ways to potentially inject some intensity into those postures, maybe by, instead of keeping things, again, neutral, maybe you go to the extremes every now and then in terms of stretching. And I think those are some good principles to follow, again, based on individual injury history, training history, things like that, genetic factors, comorbidities. You might be limited in one way or the other. So again, these are kind of rules of thumb, heuristics to start off and assess your situation with. And of course, those individual factors might mean that you're more of a succulent that likes, a drier climate versus a bamboo plant that is, something a little bit more tropical, and that's fine, and find what works for you. But I think following those principles is a better way to approach your posture and ergonomics than just saying that any one particular position is good, because I think it ignores a lot of nuance and doesn't do yourself a service. So I hope that was educational and helpful. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much. I think I got my point across. Thank you for watching if you've made it this far, and keep an eye out. I'll do like a stretching from home video coming up next in a few days, so that you guys can get some ideas on what you could be doing to change up your posture and add in some variety and intensity that way. I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy out there. Hopefully we won't be in isolation for too much longer. Hope to see you guys in person soon. Take care.